Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and World of Warcraft character customization is important for a lot of people, whether it is transmogs or choosing what race of character you play. Blizzard has been trying to facilitate more of that customization, and in the last two expansions they've added a lot of allied races. Allied races are not super unique, they are mostly a reskin of the original races, but they do add a couple little unique details to them that allow you to customize your character in the way that you want it to look like. And it seems like with Shadowlands, since we are going to the land of the dead where we are unlikely to encounter any allied races, at least for the time being, Blizzard wants to focus more on giving more character customization to everybody playing Shadowlands, and this means upgrading the existing races. During Shadowlands, Blizzard decided to show that they're gonna do even more for character tuning. Last time they did any form of changes to vanilla races, and that does not mean the original 8 aces that the game started with. That means humans, dwarves, gnomes, night elves, orcs, undead, trolls, tauren, as well as Draenei and blood elves. They ended up upgrading how the vanilla races look like for Warlords of Draenor by giving them whole new retextures that we play with today. The nicer models do look good, but Blizzard wants to add even more towards the customization. Of course, you gotta give the credit to the art team. Whoever is behind this, whoever is messing around with the different art and designs for characters is doing a spectacular job. Let's take a look at trolls, for example. Trolls come in various different shapes, sizes, and in different textures, as there are different tribes in the World of Warcraft lore of types of trolls. Blizzard thought, instead of adding a new allied race for trolls of different tribes, why don't they add that as a customization for the current trolls? So if you ever want to play the Sand Fury trolls, or if you ever want to play trolls that look more tribal with tattoos, like skeleton bones for example, you are more than welcome to do so. They also want to add more customization, like different hairstyles for female trolls for example, and potentially a few more options for the males. Maybe even more choices of what type of tusks you might want to run. Wildhammer dwarves have been very much requested by the community, and a lot of us expected them to be added as a potential allied race. But Wildhammer dwarves are no different than normal dwarves. They simply have tattoos and the right griffins, and they are more savage than your average dwarf. So what if Blizzard were to enable tattoos for normal dwarves, maybe more hair options, and even maybe give them different tones that you can choose from for your skin choice? Again, it's a huge emphasis on adding tattoos for characters, which Blizzard seems to be adding more and more and more of, but also it seems that they are switching around different hairstyles from other races. For example, the one at the top right with silver reminds me of one of the haircuts from the Maga orcs, which looks, I think, really good on a dwarf. Right before BlizzCon, I was talking to someone that maybe Blizzard should add more customizations for Undead. For example, if you've been a rotting corpse but maybe not as long as others, your bones shouldn't show as prominently, and Blizzard did exactly that. During BlizzCon, they revealed that Undead will also have a boneless look to them. You will still be able to choose to play the bony look for your Undead, but maybe your character is more of a fresh corpse, so of course the bones wouldn't be as prominent since they haven't been sitting in the ground for as long. And that comes with other hair options for Undead. This is just a rough model for the Undead. Pretty sure we'll see more in detail at a later time. So Blizzard is trying to take yet another step in terms of modernizing how World of Warcraft looks like, and this time they decided to go with the models. The textures around the game and in different zones evolve every single time, but the models themselves do fall behind, and sometimes Blizzard does need to spruce them up. So I guess they decided that with this change for this expansion, they decided instead of having a no new race, but instead we have been having allied races, and instead of no new class, they were to spruce up some of the vanilla models to be on par, but maybe even better looking than some of the allied races and the customizations that they have gotten over the last few expansions. The customizations are gonna go even beyond that. For example, Draenei, Blizzard wanted to do something very unique and special with them. They stated that for the Draenei customization, yet to be revealed, they want to give you a lot of options. For example, choosing the tail length. I like the idea behind this, because when you design your character, let's say you make a Draenei warrior, maybe you choose to have a longer tail for stability. When you imagine a warrior swinging a massive two-handed weapon to help your character look more realistic, counterbalance that with a heavy tail on the backside of your character, I feel like would kind of fit. On the flip side, if your character is maybe a hunter or a monk, they are more mobile and the tail can get in the way. So for more a different character appearance to make sense with how your character moves around and plays, a smaller tail or a shorter tail maybe might make him a bit more mobile and feel like they can move around the field a little bit easier. So this customization of how we look at our characters, how we perceive them, and what things will make sense, but also the personal preferences, I like that. I like the fact that Blizzard is giving players more options in terms of how we can customize ourselves. Maybe one day Blizzard will allow players to play as a skinny Kultiran rather than a heavyset Kultiran. I feel that a skinny Kultiran will fit the fantasy of a rogue stealthing around, or maybe a mage casting from afar, more frail but also more rugged looking, because while the original Kultirans, they are handsome, they are dope, I'm a huge fan of how they look. I just feel like the beer belly could get in the way of you stealthing past your enemies. For Draenei, they also want to add them more jewelry options, you know, the purple gems that are can be maybe on their body, or necklaces that they can wear, or maybe earrings, or something else that are maybe with like a jewel crown on their head combined with a horn preset. Now, if you think about the Draenei and how cool they look and how many customizations options they might have, think about the Blood Elves and what Blizzard could potentially do with the Blood Elves and their customization options. It seems that Blizzard wants to add more skin types and even tattoos, some skin modifications. For Undead, it would be a boneless look. For dwarves and trolls, it's going to be tattoos and body paint. So adding that together, there's a lot of potential of what they could do for various different vanilla characters. I do wonder if they'll eventually go back to some of the allied races and add some of those customizations into them. For example, Void Elves are exactly the same model as a Blood Elf, so would it be difficult for them to import some of the customization features? Maybe certain hair types, or maybe different eyes, or maybe different jewelry, or other features that might be like a tattoo style on their body. I wonder if something like that would be easy to import. Makes me wonder what Night Elves are also going to get, makes me wonder what the Tauren are going to get. But I guess we'll have to wait a little bit of time because we haven't seen a single thing about Shadowlands ever since BlizzCon, and a good chance that we won't hear more about it until months from now. But you guys are more than welcome to let me know what do you think about the different customizations that everybody's getting in Shadowlands. I am super excited. I think it's going to be cool, but I wonder if they will abandon the idea of allied races. Since we are going into Shadowlands, which is the World of Warcraft's afterlife, we're not dealing with human beings. We're dealing more or less with spirits that are in the afterlife. So I wonder if they'll cut back on the idea of allied races, since we are talking to beings that are technically already dead or live in the world of the dead. Imagine if you could just talk to your spirit healer and then have them be a playable race in the future, which basically is what Carrion are, the spirit healers that we see whenever we die. Unless, of course, we die anywhere near 1 Samdi. But you guys let me know what you think about the customizations. I'm super excited. I cannot wait. It looks like it's a lot of exciting things working on. And again, the art team does an amazing job over at Blizzard to create more of the things that we will be able to play with in the future expansion. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see all of you in another video.